Good morning, Nathan. Congratulations on your new role. Welcome to the Premier League. What a week. When Southampton first approached Luton on Monday lunchtime, was there any doubt in your mind that you would like to take this job?
Look, the excitement levels were very high. I can't lie. Obviously, with the job I had at Luton and the club and what we had built there, of course, you want to check on the project first. You want to, the Premier League's a massive pull, but I had a fantastic job at Luton and a club I love, people I really care about. I had a group of players that metaphorically die for me every week. So it wasn't just I want to go. No, look, I had to really do some research. I had to really speak to the club about what they're what they want to achieve and why. And the basic thing was why me. And so on. So look, the excitement levels were very high, but I wanted to make sure that this was the right fit for me because I'd left Luton before for an inauspicious time, and now I'm excited about this. But now that I'm here and working in the Premier League and a fantastic club, really well-run club, a lot of parallels with Luton, just on a bigger scale. I'm delighted to be here, and obviously the lure of the Premier League is very difficult.
What was that 24 hours like from when Luton said to Southampton, yes, you can speak to our manager, but only after the Stoke City game? How was that period for you? What was your mindset and mentality like?
Look, I won't lie to you, it's quite tough, especially when you're preparing for a game, and of all the games to be preparing for, I was away at Stoke as well. So look, it was, psychologically it was tough, but I had to put that behind me. And the only ones I felt sorry for really were the players, because I've been a player when your manager gets linked with things and sometimes it's unsettling. I don't know if that unsettled them. As it was, we played really well on Tuesday. We lost the game, but we played really well. So it's a credit to them really how they performed. But look, it was a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind week. It's been a week where I've been all up and down the country of games. I had my own game Tuesday, at the Southampton game, meeting everyone. The World Cup and every little thing that possibly could happen this week. I'm just, praise the Lord, my wife's not pregnant, because literally that probably would be the most manic week you could ever imagine.
You've signed a 3.5-year contract here, which shows the commitment of the club to you and the fact that there's a project here and a process that they want to go through. How confident are you can translate your ideas, your philosophies, the success you had at Luton into a Premier League outfit?
Well, look, the lure of it was, with the greatest respect, wasn't just the Premier League or Southampton with a nice stadium and beautiful training ground or anything like that. The lure was the fact that what, Sport Republic want to build here is parallel to to a lot of the metrics that I do at Luton. So they were specific in that, and that was the big thing for me, to not just be in the Premier League, because it can be in the Premier League, you might not last long, but and then it's not a great move. But here they wanted something specific. They want to build something specific. They looked at a lot of people, and with the greatest respect, I came out in terms of high on their list in terms of the things that they specifically wanted to build here. So that was the project. That was the lure, really. So contract length is contract length. At the end of the day, you have to do good work. I know that, and if I do good work, then look, I'm sure we'll reach our goals.
What have Sport Republic said to you about the remit? You've said already in the interview you did with the club that it's not just about results. Have they said to you, you must be in the Premier League at the end of the season? Have they given you a target?
Look, we've got to get results. It's not just, what I said was, they look deeper than results. So if you win a game, we debrief. So we have blocks of games where we'll debrief, and we could have won 6 games, but they look back at metrics and says, look, we've been lucky in those games. So that's what I meant by that. They're not just going to put up with any kind of result we get. What they're going to do is they're going to dissect things, and we're going to see, and that's what they want to do. They want substance. And with the greatest respect, let's address any elephant in the room. I'm not the biggest name that they could have gone for, but the substance is in the work, and that's what gave me the confidence to choose to come in here.
If you were still the Luton manager, you'd be preparing a team now to face Rotherham. You've now got 48 hours to prepare a team to face Liverpool at Anfield. How does that dynamic work in your mind when you have a process and you have analysis and you do work on the training pitch? How do you get your head in that mode so quickly?
Well, look, with the greatest respect, the Rotherham game would have taken care of itself, because we were a really well-oiled machine, and it was just tweaks and certain things at Luton. Obviously, Here, I can't do groundbreaking work in basically a day, because yesterday we couldn't because of the game Wednesday and the amount of people that played in the game. Yesterday was a recovery day anyway, so I only get today to work with them. So there won't be some categorical shift in how Southampton play. What it'll be is I hope an uplift in energy. I hope that that they work for the club and work for me. And if they do that, then yeah, look, it's one of the toughest places in Europe to go, Anfield. But what a great start, and that's what I think you have to embrace. You can be scared by it, you can be excited by it, or you can be motivated by it. And I'm definitely one of those.
You mentioned you've got some Southampton connections in your family. I believe it's your wife's side. Just can you confirm what they are?
Just her great-grandfather played, and then her great-grandfather played. Then her grandfather obviously went to watch Southampton. For them, was a massive, massive Southampton fan. Brought her dad and uncle up, and they're season ticket holders. They're here. So her brother is also a massive Southampton fan. So absolutely zero pressure, And the dad's giving me tips last week when they play Newcastle, and they said, well, you got to do this when you go in, you got to do that. So he's been blocked. And now he has to go through the right channels just to get to me. And that's not because I'm suddenly a Premier League manager. That's because, I can't have that. But it's wonderful, wonderful connection, in terms of that. Wonderful for them, for that family. I'm now effectively the biggest Southampton fan because my life depends on it.
And finally for me, clearly a disappointing day for James Ward-Prowse not to be selected for Gareth Southgate's England squad. I guess as the manager now, you've got two hats on. One, you're thinking, well, I'm frustrated and disappointed for him because he's a Southampton player and it would have been good for this football club. But also it means now that he's got some time to breathe and rest and work with you because he'll be a key player for you this season.
The big thing about that is we spoke yesterday, and look, although he's bitterly disappointed, the professionalism that he showed yesterday was really admirable. And you can go one or two ways. You can sulk and be down, or you can use it as motivation and think, well, okay, I want to buy into this project now. And the latter was what he said to me. So I was really, really proud of his reaction. Look, I'm disappointed for him because, and again, I'm good friends with Gareth. I know Gareth and Steve done a fantastic job and stuff, but James is a specialist in what he does, and you thought just on that basis alone he had a real chance. That hasn't materialised, so that's to Southampton's benefit one way. But he came to me yesterday, we spoke about it, I spoke about his role moving forward in terms of the leader he needs to be here, or I would like him to be here, the influence he can have, and obviously the influence he can have on the team in terms of playing, not just off the pitch. And he's buying into that. I mean, he's a great professional. Anyways, he's literally a stellar professional in all levels. So look, I don't think that'd be a problem. Yes, we will benefit from that in the long term, but I'm just disappointed because it's a dream. We had at Luton we had Tom Lockyer and Ethan Horvath who both got selected, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And then obviously we've had two selected for the World Cup, which is a minor disruption, but for them personally and for the club on the whole, to be having World Cup international shows them in a good place.
Thanks, Nathan. All the best.
Hi, Nathan. Welcome. You talk about a whirlwind few days. Can you give us more of an insight of what it's been like here? Who's helped you settle in? What have you prioritised in terms of meeting players, staff? What's it been like?
Well, everyone bar the media team helped me settle in because they just demand from you. So that's been the only thing. But no, it's a wonderful family club, and I knew that before I came. The infrastructure's superb here, good people. You tend to meet a lot of good people in football, and what you see on the outside isn't all the time even underneath, but there's a real good humility to the football club, a real good welcoming thing. And when a new manager comes in, you need those people, support staff, and it's very, very good here. And as I said, it has been a whirlwind because on Monday when I've heard of that and of the interest, obviously I was preparing for a game, then you travel to Stoke, and then I'm trying to keep everyone calm, but while prepare for a game against a motivated opposition against myself, not just my team, and then have to drive down late at night, have talks all day Wednesday, come to the game, Thursday's a whirlwind, meeting everyone. So look, it's a crazy week that you can't survive those weeks every week, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm looking forward now today to working with the players. Then we go up and prepare for a very, very difficult fixture.
Yeah, a bit of a baptism of fire at Anfield. What do you know Klopp well, and how much do you respect him as a manager and what he's done for Liverpool, although they're having a bit of an inconsistent time at the moment?
I mean, the respect levels has to be through the roof because of what he's achieved in terms of how he goes about his work, in terms of everything. Personally, I don't know him. Obviously, we were both in the same awards ceremony thing when we both won awards in the summer, but that's as far as our relationship goes. I'm excited to go up against him, but obviously I know it's going to be very, very difficult. But for what he's achieved at Liverpool, what he's done at Dortmund, a magnificent, one of the world's best coaches, and that's the lure of the Premier League, the excitement of going up against the world's best coaches, because one way or another I will learn.
Obviously, a tough time in the relegation zone. You know all about battling relegation, and I wonder how much that experience can help you here. But how far do you feel that you can take this Southampton side?
Look, we have to make small steps, and we have to make them quickly. That's the first thing. I mean, if I'm honest, I haven't had that. I've probably been at the right end of the table more than I've been at the wrong end of the table. But when I came back to Luton, obviously they were in a precarious position, but I knew the group I was getting. So it's slightly different. But I know they're a good group. The buy-in and the sort of rapport I've got immediately is really, really pleasing. So look, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to work. The real bonus of it is we've got 4 to 6 weeks now to work without games. Well, not without games, but without the added, not the pressure, but that distraction of having the games. Now I can do real work with the team, and then hopefully put an imprint that how we move forward. Now, as I said, it's going to be little steps, but we have to make them quickly. It's not going to be revolutionary within a week or two, because we're away a little bit as well. So it's going to be trying to get our work, our philosophy and our structure over really quickly, having a good buy-in from the players, a real discipline from them, and then hopefully we can start to build.
You're joining this team at a very strange time, obviously, with the World Cup mid-season. We've never known this before. I wonder what this game is going to be like. I don't know whether the players are going to maybe pull out of challenges a bit. I'm sure there'll be a lot of players who don't want to get injured. And for you, as you say, it gives you a little bit of time to get to know your squad. Does it feel like the very best time or the very worst? How does it sit with you?
I'll let you know about 5 o'clock tomorrow. But I honestly, I don't think Liverpool have as many, if not more, players than we do in going to the World Cup. But I don't think that. I mean, there's an element of professionalism. Ironically, if you do try to go through the motions, is as much likelihood you'll get injured anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But the ironic thing was, I mean, a week or two ago, I was lambasting the World Cup because and saying about it piles massive pressure on championship clubs for the fixture schedule and for everything, and it was unfair on players. Now, from what I labelled some people at FIFA, now they're absolute geniuses. It's brilliant. So I'm so happy that someone's put a World Cup in Qatar in November. So, as I said, it gives me an opportunity to work with them. So any opportunity I get to work without just having to go into games, and look, it can have either effect, because if you win games while you're doing that work, then that can become a catalyst. So, but right now I take the fact that I get to work with them, I get to be around them, they get to know a lot about me and get to understand how I work and my staff work. And then to use the good things that are already here, because there's a lot of good things that have been done here. Yep, they've gone through a tough time, but we kind of have to change that momentum.
Can I just finally ask you just a little bit about your own philosophy, your own tactics? Obviously it's different depending on the players that you have, but what can you tell us that we can expect from you?
Well, I like to win games, that's the thing, and we like to do everything we possibly can to win games. I would like to be a front-footed team. I would like Southampton to be a team that plays front-footed football, that can score goals and can win games. Yeah, we have to do the basics right and make sure that we keep clean sheets. That's something that, with the greatest respect, they haven't done enough of. But if we can lay a foundation and be hard to beat, and then be really productive going forward, then that's a good recipe for getting points. And if you get points, every point in the Premier League is very difficult. So we have to concentrate on getting points week in, week out. And if we can do that on a consistent basis, then we'll be in a better position.
Morning. When at the start you said, you asked them with all due respect, you said, why me? What was the answer?
They would like to achieve something, and they felt that what I bring to a football club is what they need here. The metrics that they gauge in terms of Sport Republic, people like Rasmus who are very big on that, and I score very, very high on in terms of. I don't think we've got that much time, but it's certain things that that football teams do very well. Certain teams they're good at, and how they improve under a certain individual or a coaching staff, and Luton have done that over the 6 years that I've been there. So they compare that, they look around, albeit at a different level, and that's the calculated gamble they've taken. And I'm not hiding from anything; it's a gamble. They could have brought a bigger name with Premier League experience, but does that guarantee that what they want to achieve or how they want this football club to look? Doesn't guarantee anything. So I'm hoping I can bring that to them, because they've invested a lot of time in finding the right person, and then obviously everything to get me.
What do you think of the squad you inherited? And do you think they always say managers inherit well when they come into a club, or inherit badly? Old managers say to me, have you inherited well? And what do you think of your squad?
Well, I'm obviously excited to work with the squad because I'm here, and yeah, we're going to need one or two bits of help. I know that, but there's a young, hungry, athletic team here. Now, that's my track record, working with young, hungry players. With the greatest respect, if Jurgen went, then I wouldn't be high on Liverpool's list, because they have different things. But the philosophy here is to work with young, hungry players to buy at a certain level, develop them into even better individuals, and moulding a team while you do that. And look, that's what I have a track record of doing, and that's what I'm really excited about. That's why I've bought into the project, and with the greatest respect, that's why they've come for me.
I had a chat with Ricky Lambert last night, who said he was made up that a young British coach had got this job and the fans should get right behind you. What do you say to the fans now who are, like you said, might not be the big name, top of the list, but what would you say to the fans now about what you want to do for their club and how you'd like them to give you a shot, give you a chance?
I just think keep an open mind. At the end of the day, all Southampton fans want to see is a team that works hard, the team that can get points, can win games, and the team that they can relate to. And so look, we're going to give them that, I guarantee. So if they just keep an open mind and buy into stuff, yeah, I understand there would be negativity. There would be people that would list names or X, Y, and Z. I can't affect that. That doesn't bother me in any way, because at the end of the day, I'm more substance than name, and I probably I'm not saying I always will be, but I know where I've come from, and I know why I'm here, and I'll be doing that to the best of my ability. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about changing opinion or about reversing a negative trend, and that's what I've had to do in my career, because I've always kind of been an underdog, and I've enjoyed that.
Just finally from me, even though you've got the break after the Liverpool game, and everyone sees the Liverpool game as almost a distraction for you from the longer project of getting the players playing how you want, they always say players try and suss out a manager very quickly when he comes into the club, and the manager has to lay a foundation very sharp of what he expects from players. What do you expect from your players? What are the first impressions you've been trying to make, or will do today on the training ground or whatever?
Well, they have to get a feel for me as a human being, and two as a manager. Now, look, we'll be very organised. We'll be very organised going into the game tomorrow, so there'll be no difference in work. We're not going to ask them to be categorically different, because I'd be a fool. You know what I mean? I'm not David Blaine in terms of having to transfer everything. What we'll do is we'll give them certain things that we expect, to work hard, to do the basics right, and if we do that, which you have to do at Anfield anyway. Never mind if you're Man City, Barcelona, Southampton, or Luton Town, you're going to do the basics right, and that's all I'm going to ask. Then a real buy-in to what we do, and then we go away, and then we've got a real chunk of time to change certain things. But tomorrow, they'll suss out that I'm approachable. Before then, they suss out I'm an approachable individual. I love my job. I work very, very hard. I think any Southampton member of staff will tell you instantly, well, his work ethic's not going to be a problem, and that's all he can do. So look, we'll set standards here. We'll drive something. And God willing, we'll get results. And if we do that, everyone will be happy. It doesn't matter what my name is.
Injury problems from midweek?
No, none from midweek. With the game actually was bittersweet, really, because obviously you'd like an extra day to prepare. But the fact they won the game, regardless of circumstance, is a good thing. To be fair, because it kind of stopped a little bit of momentum. We got through in the cup. Ruben did fantastically well, which we're really pleased, and he'd be heavy involved in the build-up to tomorrow's game. So no, nothing extra. Anyway, so we're okay.
Hi, Nathan Lewis from Lucy TV. What's your assessment been of Southampton's season so far? What are the kind of the things you're going to focus on first to improve this team?
Look, first of all, we have to have a foundation to play from. Yeah, with the greatest respect, and I don't speak badly of anyone, yeah, we haven't kept many clean sheets yet. So if you keep clean sheets, then you've got an opportunity of winning games or getting points. Then I want us to be front-footed, I want us to play, but they've been used to be doing that here. You know, the previous manager was a very front-footed manager, and for that I'm very grateful, because it means that I haven't, really got to try and implement that. I can just tweak and enhance that. So look, it's about being, one, difficult to beat, two, be important in attack, and combining both of those, which means then you have a better chance of winning games. Look, I won't be a manager that just sits in and is negative. I'm a positive person. I'm a positive manager in how I want my teams to play, but we have to build generally and at a pace that's right for us.
A lot was made with the previous manager about the Southampton playbook. Was that mentioned in your interview? Are you writing your own chapter? Are you ripping it up? Are you going to reinterpret it? How do you take that forward?
There's certain things that Southampton Football Club have done really well in previous years, and to be fair, it's been a real success story. It's been an established Premier League club. So before the previous manager, they developed young players, sold them, played a certain way, had some fantastic managers who went on to different things. Then the previous manager came in and was an aggressive style, which I like, which is what I want to. So it's not about ripping anything up, it's about putting your own stamp on something, but enhancing what's already here, trying to improve certain things, and then bringing a little bit of your own flavour, which every manager has to do. And I'm clear on how I want us to play. I'm clear on my philosophy and how we train and how we act and how we speak and everything. I want a young, hungry, athletic group to work with that have open minds and buy into things, and that's what we have here. And look, it's an exciting project for me. It really is. A wonderful club, great people, a group that I believe will buy into to new things, and I'm really happy to be here.
Finally, it's a question about pressure, really. It's hard enough being at the bottom of the table, but your family Christmas is going to be rubbish if you lose against Brighton and Boxing Day, isn't it? That's pressure, right?
There's another link as well. Yeah, exactly. But that's another link. Obviously, Brighton, a club close to my heart as well, and I played for 5 years, was 3 years there as assistant under 3 managers, and got a really good relationship. So it's a great one. Praise the Lord, we're home, so at least we can have a little bit of a family time. But yeah, you just get a feeling that you don't want to you don't want to get off to a bad start anyway, but around about Christmas time, and it's a nice time. But look, we've got Lincoln game to lead us into that as well, so we've got a lot to look forward to, and that's what I want us to do. I want us to really look forward to what we can. Yeah, there's a lot of negatives around it, but so many positives that I really want us to enhance and to concentrate on, because if we get it right, then that'll be beneficial for everyone.
Hi Nathan. You saying the players have to buy into your philosophy. I know you've only been with them a day or two. What has the reaction been like from the players to yourself?
I think really positive. I think all I do is, look, I haven't done anything groundbreaking. I've addressed them, asked them for a few little just key things. Not many, just a few little key things, and then we'll build relationships. They're not suddenly gonna love me after a day, and things. But I left a group that knew that I cared about them, that knew that I invested in them, that knew that I dedicated pretty much every part of my life to making them better and inadvertently making the team and the club better, and that's what I'll do here. So they know they've got a manager that's going to care for them and that's going to try to make them better, and then all I have to do is make sure that my work is good enough to earn that respect, and I'm pretty sure that it will be.
There's only a couple of matches before the transfer window opened. Have the club said much to you? Are you expecting Saints to be busy?
Look, we'll have meetings over the coming weeks to do that. First of all, I'd like to evaluate the squad as well, because when you go into a squad, sometimes you unearth a gem, someone that maybe isn't productive under a previous regime could be. And what we have to do is maintain the ones that are doing really well. Anyone that's not been as productive as they originally were, because they're at the football club, trying to reinvigorate those, and then any shortfalls in anything, then I'm sure we'll be able to have discussions over bringing people in to fill those gaps.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Can I do a couple? Thank you. Nathan, you've mentioned in your words your auspicious time at Stoke. What lessons did you learn from that experience that you think might help you in this job?
A lot, to be fair. I mean, I did a lot of good work at Stoke, which would have gone unmissed, which would be missed really, because a lot of it was behind the scenes in uniting a football club and changing certain things behind it. But the basic thing I didn't do there was get results. And I had great owners, great people, and the buck falls, purely with me for not getting results. Because if I had got results, then I would have got more time. With hopefully could have changed certain things. It was a tough time. The club was in a real difficult spot in terms of lots of things where it was just come down. With what they had recruited and so on. But I learned, first and foremost, you have to get results, which is key. But I learned a lot about me as a person, a lot about as a manager. And those lessons have made me a better manager and a better human being, which stood me in good stead for going back to Luton and establishing Luton as a really aggressive top 6 championship side on a bottom 3, bottom 4 budget. So those are the lessons I want to put in here. I have to learn about the Premier League really, really quickly, because what you see on Match of the Day or fantasy football is fine. But the realities are you're going into a tough league, probably the best in the world, with quality everywhere. And I have to learn that. But I will learn that quickly, because I do adapt.
One of the lazy criticisms that I've seen levelled against you is that you've only done it at Luton. Do you look at someone like Eddie Howe, who was told he could only do it at Bournemouth, and what he's done since going to Newcastle as inspiration to prove those doubters wrong?
Well, I've only been at Luton and Stoke, so it's not like I've been at 10 clubs and only done it at one. But I learned those lessons, as we said, at Stoke. I built something special at Luton, because it is a special club, and I want to do that here. When I was at Brighton, I did good work. As an assistant in terms of that. Even when you go as low as Yeovil in League One, building a real stable club on the lowest budget in the league. So my track record is slightly better than a difficult 11 months at Stoke, which, with the greatest respect to everyone, has been a difficult place for a few to go there. So I'm really excited by this, and anyone that labels it, well, he's only done it at Luton. Yeah, but we've done fantastic work at Luton. We've done something special at Luton, not just good, special, because of not just results, not just the players we bring through, not about the players that we sell, develop, but the unity with the fans, with the board, the golden thread that runs right throughout that club, the academy, how we've developed it. It could go on, but we've built something special, and I want to do that here.
Football can be very short term. The fact that the club have given you such a lengthy contract, 3.5 years, that must give you confidence. They really believe you're the man for this project. Equally, obviously at the moment you find yourselves in the relegation zone. If the worst was to happen and you ended up in the Championship, will you be given assurances that you will be given time to rebuild?
Well, we haven't mentioned anything about being a Championship football club, so we won't go there. I have no intention of leading this club into the Championship, so let's not go there. First and foremost, we implement certain things. We have to reinvigorate everyone, including the fans. And once we do that, then we have to pick up points, and then we have to become the team that we want, an aggressive, front-footed team. And those are the primary things we have to concentrate on, not looking beyond anything further than that, and especially not having any negativity in that. Because the reason I left Luton was because I wanted to be a Premier League manager, so I have no intention of going back.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to this section by 10:30 then. Two questions each. Start with Jacob. Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm sorry, can I just clarify? I have no intention of going back to the Championship.
Nathan, you said yesterday that Southampton's board wanted to kind of copy some of the ways that Luton worked. What were they exactly?
It's just the metrics around how we play. So, we get young, hungry players that are not nowhere near their ceiling, but also might not have done it at other clubs, and make them better with our coaching, with the philosophy, with how we do stuff, with how we handle them. We improve them athletically, the human side, we develop, and they find homes, and that's what we want to do there. Then certain things on how the team plays, Luton are an aggressive team. We want to maintain the aggressive nature of our team and score goals, and that's what we do. So basically we and I don't want to keep referring back to my previous club, but I've been brought here to punch above our weight, really, because to compete with the Man Cities and Liverpools, you can't do that financially. So you have to do it in a different way, and that's basically why I've been brought here. So to improve every metric that the team plays, and then to be a side that we can be proud of.
How will Ruben Senator's role change going forward? Now you've brought two of your own backroom staff in from Luton.
Well, I brought like a set play specialist, which is one thing, and then I brought an assistant that's key to me. But Ruben's still key to what we do here, so there'll be no change, and he'll be vital. He knows the club, he's been here, he knows the players trust him. That's really key for me moving forward. So providing Ruben wants to be part of that and buys into what we do, which I know he will, because he's a good guy, and I've heard very good things about him. And with our initial chats, he's excited about the project. No change.
Hi there, Nathan. Good morning. Just first of all, well, James Ward-Prowse obviously isn't going to go to the World Cup. Armel Belkacov will be going with Germany. There's still potential for Mohamed Saleh Soumeh with Ghana. How exciting is it to work with a squad full of these kinds of young players? I mean, it must have been part of the draw, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And look, it's why I'm here. If it was a team of aging players, of aging superstars, then I probably wouldn't be here. But the fact it's young, hungry players that want to get better, my track record lends itself to that. So I'm really excited. And when you see these players, the athletes, and the blank canvases that you have to work with, it's very, very exciting. But look, amongst that, you then have to get results, and these have to learn quickly, because the young players and the Premier League can be very, very unforgiving. So we have to learn quickly while developing young talent. And that's it, winning games while developing talent. That's basically what we have to do.
And I think the young players have learned very quickly this season how harsh the Premier League can be. 4 games lost 1-0, 5 games lost by 1 single goal. But you mentioned that human, that personal side of your management of the players. It can be easy for young players, I think, probably to not take in the big picture and to just look at the result, because obviously that is so important. I mean, if you just talk through a little bit more of that personal touch that you have with your management, how important that is to you, how you see that as being part of your role.
Well, being a football manager, I think, has many facets. When you're asking people to sacrifice certain things, when you're asking people to metaphorically run through brick walls, when you're asking people to buy into something, then you have to make them believe that. Now, if you just dictate to them, that's not my managerial style. What I want to do is get them to buy into something and see the reasoning behind that. And then with my passion, with what I do and my work rate and stuff, then they can see that I believe in something. If I believe in a way of doing it, and I can transfer that onto the pitch, and I can get those to buy into that, and then see that I have an empathetic side when maybe they don't play as well, then that then will give them, give them real impetus moving forward. I manage like I want to be managed. I craved a manager to care about me. I craved someone to want to make me better. I craved someone to say, you could be this, you can be this player if you really want to, if you buy in, and then guiding me to be that, and then putting me in a team framework that suited how I played. I craved that as a player. I never had it, and which is ironic because I played for 23 years, but I never had it. But I want to be that manager, that coach that basically changes their life.
Hi Nathan, you mentioned there about at Luton, being a top 6 challenger but with a bottom 3 budget. Looking at Southampton, new owners came in obviously last year, and you've met Rasmus and obviously Martin who was here before. How much does the chance to actually spend some money, which Southampton haven't always been able to do in the transfer market, was that negotiated with you? Did you feel excited by that when you've got the money to spend if you have to?
Have you chatted? I mean, we can spend money, yeah. All right, okay. No, look, my excitement is to work with the players that we got, and then if there's anything we need, then look, and there's structure and there's rationale behind it. Then yeah, look, I'm sure that they'll do that and strengthen. The owners want to be successful here, but they want to do it at a right pace. They're not going to go and blow 160 million on one transfer window. What we're going to do is we're going to have real structure, we're going to work, we're going to see what we need, evaluate, then make right choices. And that's how a football club should run. That's what I've done in the past. That's what I've done at good clubs, and not just Luton, at Brighton and people. There's a real process and structure to how we recruit. Same here, and I'm excited by that.
In terms of your relationship with the board, for you personally, how close do you like to have that communication? Do you want that constant dialogue, or do you prefer them standing off a little bit and letting you do your work?
No, look, there's real processes here which I'm really excited about, especially sort of working with someone like Rasmus that's really influential and an innovative thinker in terms of everything. I'm really excited about that relationship. Now, like, I'm not on the phone, so I've got a bat phone that I'm calling them everything, but when we need to meet, we meet. I have people that I answer to and I have direct lines into and so on, but what I want to make sure is that the communication is really good, my relationship's really good, and then we can all move forward and do good work here.
Nathan, just going back to what you were saying about not being the biggest name the club could have gone for, obviously that's a situation that could put you or any manager on a back foot, put them on the back foot, going into a new job. So I wondered what convinced you when you were going through the full process of whether or not to accept the job, what convinced you that element of it could be overcome?
Well, I either stay at the level where my name is good. So if I can stay as a championship manager for the rest of my life, I've got a decent name as a championship manager. I've got an unbelievable name at League One. And League Two, I'd actually be a real coup. So unless I want to stay at that level, sooner or later I have to get past that. But I've never ever made a decision based on my name. It's my work. So if I feel I can impact and feel I can really do something, then I make that choice, and it was I believe in the work that we do. I believe that I can transfer that to a wonderful football club, and I wouldn't have jumped for any job. I really wouldn't have. But I felt this is the right fit, the really right fit. I feel I can maximise the work that I do and the potential I have at this football club, and that's what I'm excited about. It doesn't really bother me. It can bother fans and so on, but I have to change that perspective, and only results will do that.
Just on that, earlier when you said about always being an underdog, you obviously had a long time in football and life outside of the game as well. I wondered, is there anything in particular that sums up that underdog in you, if you see what I mean, where you really feel you've proved that you've been an underdog that you've achieved?
I come from a mining community in Wales, which is the back end of anywhere, real good upbringing. And I left school at 16 to go to Cardiff City, got released from Cardiff City, and then 33 years later, I'm managing a Premier League club. It's an underdog story, really, So I'm very proud of that in terms of everything. And along the way, you have pits, back in the day, you had 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts that you could only sign, and you was always on the knife edge as a player. So all the time, really, you have to prove it. I've never been given a golden spoon to go, there, fill your boots. I've always had to work for everything, and in God's will, I'm here where I am now. And I like working hard. There's a real good feeling when your work comes to fruition, and I like that. I've never really been gifted anything. So no, I can't see anything in particular, but the fact that a skinny, rat-faced Welsh boy is managing the Premier League, that's pretty much of a good story anyway.